All right. Well, writer friends, today we're talking about writer's block, and it's a true thing. It really does happen. It can happen, just for a day. Maybe you're stuck just for like a week, maybe a month. I don't know. For me, it was like 2 years a while ago. So, I mean, it just happens to the best of us. I
Tell us what you feel, Nick, is writer's block.
For me, writer's block is when I have no idea how I'm going to carry on with my novel, or I just don't have like the gumption to even get to my desk. I kind of want to fill the time with everything other than writing. And most of the time it has nothing to do with the writing. It really just has to do where I'm at emotionally, where I'm at maybe physically. Where I'm at, confidence wise. It really is more of an internal game than an external game. But most of the time, it has nothing really to do with the writing itself, like the book itself. It's not because I find the book is too challenging. It's just that I am too challenging for my own self.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that's true for yourself?
I think that's you. Yes, I think that's how you feel it, which is why I asked, how do you feel the writer's block? I don't think there is a writer's block.
Mm,
I think we can write every day. I think we can write at any time. I think we can write. I think what to me, and I think you alluded to it in a little way there. We think about writer's block as in I cannot progress the job, the work, the story I'm on. And
mm,
so I can't do anything until I can do that one thing. Now, I think writing is creating the muscle every day.
mhm.
And it's my belief, and this is what I teach other writers, that if you write every day and you write off any prompt, any word, using everything that you know, whether it's connected to your piece of work, your story, your journal, your whatever you're in the middle of, um, you can write. You can write about anything. And
Yeah.
you can even sit. What I tell people is if you have nothing to write, just sit there and do the handwriting or
Mhm.
do the typing and say, I have nothing to write. I have nothing to
Yeah.
say. I am staring at the blank page. And I'll tell you what, you can trick yourself for about maybe a minute. And I promise you, your brain is much smarter than your hand.
Yeah.
And after a few of those sentences that say, I have nothing to say, your brain is going to say, hang on a minute, actually, I do have something to say. And what I've discovered is the majority of the time when people have reached that point where they feel they have writer's block, that it's actually, and you also alluded to that, it's actually some resistance from inside.
Yeah.
And the best way to push through the resistance is by working in a flow session, not working on your novel. Our novel, our book, whatever our creative piece is always going to address some problem that's happening to us inside.
Yeah.
Always. That's the nature of the
And
work.
I think the novel takes so much more structure too.
Yes.
Especially when you're in the stages that I'm in with it. So it's like I feel like I have to be on my game when I approach that particular project because it's so there that
Mm-hmm.
if like I don't feel emotional, like yesterday I was an emotional wreck, and so I was like, there's no way I can approach that page because
No.
I need to be in a certain state to be in that. But I did write yesterday. I wrote in the secret project because the secret project that I'm working on is all fun. It's all fun and games. I take that, I don't have any kind of master plan with that.
Good.
And I can just play with those characters. And, I wrote like 4 or 5 pages in it. And to me, I guess that's what you're talking about, like with the
Yeah.
flow state where you're not, it's not mindless, but it's not as structured and pinned down as like working on, like a revision or a final draft of something. So,
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's vital, I think, that we keep that. flow going in our writing, that ability to put words together, in a different way. So a
Yeah.
lot of times what I invite my writers to do is to go ahead and start making lists of things. Sometimes it's an alphabetical list. Sometimes it's answering a question over and over and over again. And when you get to, let's say, I never get to finish that sentence.
Yeah.
So every time you have to write, I never get to put chocolate on my spaghetti.
Hmm.
I never, and you don't stop writing. I never get to sing in the shower. I never get to paint my toenails blue. I don't know. You just keep going. And suddenly, when you're least expecting it,
Hmm.
something about you for real pops in.
Yeah.
Something that makes you go, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Hmm.
And I think that's the sort of clue to this is what I need to be working on. But we just keep writing, we just keep writing, we just keep writing because all of this is grist for the mill and it's fabulous. And you end up having volumes and volumes of interesting and uninteresting things
Yeah.
help you writing along.
But I think for me too, like we were just mentioning with our last guest on the podcast, it's like writing's a muscle. It's a muscle
Yes.
worked, and it needs to, it needs to be strengthened, and it needs to be stretched. And even if you don't do anything with those, little prompts or whatever you're doing, working on, they don't, not everything you write has to matter in the sense of like commodity. It matters in the sense of just growth. And so
Hmm.
I'm just a really big believer in that. Even when we were doing our pen pal, Kath and I were pen pals for quite some time. And I writing those letters,
About this much time.
writing those letters was, well, I mean, I saved every letter you ever
So
wrote.
did I.
And but writing all those letters, and maybe we'll circle back to that one time in our
Maybe we
lives.
will. When we
But
have no more secrets.
it was I know we know a lot about each other now. But to me that was such a muscle too, and it was in it, and I used to get really deep in a lot of those letters too. And so it was very cathartic, and it was a muscle. And so even that would be great for our writer friends. It's like, pick someone that you can confide in, that you love, and maybe just start divulging things that you just didn't think that bothered you anymore, or the things that really do
Mm.
bother you. And maybe that out of that you could bring and find a novel, a topic or idea, or just bring those muscles to finding that vulnerability inside of you too, because finding vulnerability, I think, also is a muscle that needs to be exercised.
Cultivated. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have to tell the truth when you write.
Mhm. I think it's really easy. Well, not maybe easy, but like I think it's just a little bit more natural feeling to like keep everything inside and like be kind of a shell, because society kind of wants that from you. When people ask you how your day is, they're not expecting you to not expecting like a whole like dissertation of how your day. They're just really, we're waiting for you to say, fine, I'm great, how are you? I mean, that's the general, consensus of people, how they respond. But
It's
if you
Western world culture. There are other cultures that don't
Oh, really? Do
do
you feel
that.
like that? You feel like
They
when
don't do that. Oh, hello, how are you? No, they just get right to the
so
point.
in the UK, they're not like, hello, how are you? How are you?
Well, yeah, that's very, very Western. So UK is part of that, but
Oh,
but
okay.
further east,
Yeah, no, they get into the heart of it. Like, yesterday my mother died.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. Because what are you going to say? Yeah, how are you? Not good.
Oh,
And then
that's
you have to listen, right?
that's. I like to kind of put it on their head. I always kind of ask people like, "What's new in your world?" Like, I like to say that, because you never know what they're gonna say in
Yeah,
response.
true. You don't. You don't.
It's kind of a game changer when you bring that to the, like, instead of saying like, hello, how are, nice to meet you, I say,
Yeah.
hey, hi, what's new in your world? So,
Yeah.
but
So I think, just to sort of tie up the end of this writer's block, we
yeah,
never have speaker's block.
no, gosh, no. I
Okay.
mean, our conversation went from A to Z.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Even in the world. You know, it's very rare that a person will run out of words. In fact, when a person says, I have no words,
Yeah.
actually what it means is that that person has no language to express the emotion they're feeling.
Mm,
And that is a world problem, not a writer's block. It's a world problem because the world hasn't created the verbiage
mm.
to say that emotion.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I totally correspond
keep
to that. I
writing.
understand that for sure.
Keep writing is what I say. In fact, just maybe 2 or 3 days ago, I learned what it was. They've made a new language for the way people think about food. This idea of food chatter.
Food noise, you mean?
Food noise, food
Yeah.
chatter, it depends who's
Yeah.
talking about it. Yes. And I didn't know what that was. And they've
Yeah.
made up this. So yeah, maybe we
Yeah.
need to make up more language. That's
Yeah,
for
I love
writers
that.
after all, right?
Yeah. And that's, that's what you are as a writer, right? You're an inventor and a treasure hunter and,
Mm-hmm.
discoverer. And we're out here discovering new lands of language. All
Oh, yes. So there we are. That's that for us today.
right. Well, writer friends, it's been such a pleasure. Please like and subscribe to our channel and let us know how we're doing. If you want to be on a guest on our channel, please let us know in the comments.
All right. See you soon.